Thank you guys so much for joining us here today on this beautiful Friday this summer. We are so grateful for you. It really means so much to us to have you all here with us today. We started Inspired Leaders 7 years ago, which is completely insane that we've been doing it for this long. And it all started when Andy and I started our business. I left education to get into real estate investing, and I was terrified and had no idea what I was doing. But what I did have was this beautiful community that we all live in. And so I spent a lot of time networking, asking a lot of questions, meeting a lot of people, and getting as connected as I could so that when I did take that leap, I had just a little teensy bit of confidence. And through that, I heard stories from people. You know, you look around and you go to these networking events and you expect that everybody there must just feel great and be confident. And meanwhile, you're feeling inside maybe scared or uncertain, or you're not sure how you're going to make it to the next day or the next payroll or whatever it is that's going on that's making you nervous about your business. But we all tuck that in when we come and show up in these networking events. And so it was really powerful for me to hear these people talk about how they also transitioned from one career to the other. How they went from something safe and secure where they're getting paychecks every 2 weeks to working for themselves or doing some sort of commission-based business, and they were unsure of when they were going to get paid again. It's terrifying. And through that vulnerability that these people were sharing with me, and through these little glimpses of their stories, of their journey, I found a lot of confidence. And that ended up turning into, after I quit my job, we started Inspired Leaders. And to be honest with you, it was really very tactical at first. Okay, how do we do marketing for a business, right? Or how do we negotiate in a business or things like that. And there were people coming and sharing their experiences that way. But that quickly morphed into people coming and sharing their stories, because that's really what matters. Our stories and our journey and the things that we've been through, the good and the bad, the ups and the downs, that's what makes us who we are. That's what gives us our strength and our power and our perseverance to push on. And so Inspired Leaders morphed into this event where we asked our speakers to come up on this stage and not just share their stories, not just share their rah-rah of their success with you, but to also share their shit. Share those low things that they've been through. Share those hard times. Share those moments when they've been scared or they didn't want to get up that day or they couldn't face whatever was coming next. Because that's where we find our strength. That's when we decide to keep going, when we decide to ask for help, when we decide to not quit, when we really believe in what it is that we're doing. That's where our power comes from. And it makes us stronger and better. And when we can share that with other people, our journey gives them power, because now we know that we're not alone. And so month after month, we ask these speakers to come up here and stand on this stage and share their souls with you. And everybody does it differently. Sometimes it's very business-oriented. Sometimes it's very personal. Sometimes it's a little bit of both. It's about the things in our life that have impacted our journey to get us to where we are. And our hope as a leadership and within Inspired Leaders is that you find yourself inspired each time you hear these different stories, that you walk away each and every time feeling like you can keep going, and knowing that when you're in this room, when you're with us, you are not alone, and that these stories are powerful to you and encourage you and fill you with inspiration. So that is why we are here and why we do what we do, and we're really, really grateful to share that with you guys. If you can, silence your phones for the next hour and just give this time to yourself. If you need to go into the lobby and make a phone call or anything like that, please feel free to do so. We do understand. But if you can take this time for you, please do that. We will get you out of here at 1, and I promise you can get back to your day. So you can find us all over social media. If you scan that QR code, it will get you to all of the platforms, all the social platforms where you can follow us. I would encourage and ask that you do so. You know how important that is for us to be found by other people. But then also you'll find our website. And on our website is where you can RSVP for events. You can watch past speakers. If you yourself or somebody that you know is interested in being a speaker, one of the steps in that process is to apply, and that application is on our website. And then also this event is free and open to everybody every single month because of our amazing sponsors. because of our amazing sponsors. So if you or somebody that you know would like to be a sponsor as well and get a chance to come up on this stage and give a 30-second commercial instead of a drop and go commercial, we'd love to have you. So all of those things are on our website, as well as the photos from each month's event. So you can see that and of course see those things on our social media. So please use that as a resource for yourself. Go revisit past speakers that you enjoyed and maybe sign yourself up to do so as well. All right, so we are going to have an opportunity. If you've been here before, everybody in the audience gets to do a quick drop and go commercial, and then we have our sponsors come up on stage and they get an opportunity to do a 30-second commercial. So we're going to pass the mic around. Lance and Andy are going to help coordinate that and get the mic through everybody. And then if you're a sponsor, please just skip yourself, and I'll call you up here on stage next. But let me show you what a drop and go commercial looks like. And here at Inspired Leaders, we also like to do a clap in between the commercial. So you'd be thinking about what you can say quickly and succinctly so people know what you do, and then afterwards you guys can find each other, okay? So let me show you. My name is Elizabeth Griever. My company is Everson Cooper, and we are your as-is home buyer. All right, come on, y'all. Let's do that again. My name is Elizabeth Griever. My company is Everson Cooper, and we are your as-is home buyer. That was better. I want that every time. All right, Lance, here you go.
Bob Jacinto, Legacy Partners, Insurance and Tax-Free Retirement Solutions. We keep families and businesses prosperous through the storms of life.
Good morning, LaShondra Jones, City of Houston Mayor's Office of Veteran Affairs, where we take care of veterans in the City of Houston. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Beverly Edwards. I am a veteran and I am hands down one of the best caterers in the City of Houston. My business name is Sweets for the Streets.
I'm Belinda Gales. I'm also a veteran, retired Air Force, and I just support other veterans.
My name is Doug Bayless. We are here with the Braden Bayless Memorial Foundation. We give back to PTSD USA to try and save our veterans' lives.
Gail, the Connector Stolzenberg, helping business owners and salespeople improve their connections.
I'm Sharon Burgoon with SWBC Mortgage, and creating wealth with real estate is what I believe in, and we're a tool to get you there.
Chris Porter, SWBC Mortgage. We're the happiest way home.
Hi, I'm Lizzie Pritchett, Bellwether Concepts, Social Media Marketing, and I'm just here for Chris.
Hi, Lisa Shaver with K&G Capital Mortgage. You dream it, we'll fund it.
Howdy, I'm Megan Dodson, also a mortgage loan originator with K&G Capital Mortgage, and I don't have a saying except Megan does mortgage.
Dave Gerard, I'm a CPA, and I help improve efficiencies in accounting departments.
Joseph James, it's good to be back from the dead almost. I did come out with a new album last year in the midst of all the seizures and stuff, so it's great to be back.
Carl Steven Brunig, professional musician. Come to my show at Harvest Market in Wood Forest on August 9th, 6 p.m. You will be blown away.
I'm Nkamga. Amcor Solutions, Life Insurance, help you protect what matters most.
Hi, I'm Keely Goodnight. I'm currently working towards my master's in counseling, and I'll be working for district counseling here in the Woodlands in August.
Kevin Goodnight, and excited to announce, if you're a Christian business leader, come see me. We have C-Suite for Christ is coming to Houston next month.
Good afternoon. I'm Tim Stroud, former combat medic in the United States Army with Stay Tuned for Vets. We have a huge event on July 22nd. It's called Singo. Come celebrate our veterans with us. We're at Stay Tuned for Vets. Every day is Veterans Day.
Good afternoon. I am Dwayne, not the Rock Johnson. I do your commercial and residential security. If you need security, call Dwayne, not the Rock. Thank you.
Hello, I am Johnny Key with Bhakti Light. I support one with rewriting your bullshit stories and live your light of glory.
Hi, my name is Tara with Redfin. I'm your one-stop shop in all your real estate needs.
Good afternoon. My name is Steve Scott, the Houston Business Coach. I collaborate with individuals and companies to create pathways to accelerate the process of their successful performance.
Hello, Ivan Benovich, life and annuity agent. Find me online at callivanb.com. I protect families and build business owners.
Hi, I'm Monica Elizabeth. I have Brilliance Coaching for professional and relationship coaching programs to help you shine your brightest.
Natalie Sikowski-Gertz, founder of Business and Banking Concierge. I'm your operational CFO for all things business, banking, lending, merchant, and insurance.
Grant Kitchens, I own Longhorn Outdoor Services, from pressure washing to landscaping.
We deal with more crap than Congress. Marine George Gallimore, we own owner of We the Plumbers.
Emily Artifikevich with Walkie Wilson Law Firm. We're a family law firm, and from I Do to We're Through, we're here for you.
Darrell Norris with Fresh Tech Solutions. We develop mobile apps and websites, so we're trying to get your business on the App Store, and if your website sucks, you're in luck.
Hello, I'm Gabriela Duran. I'm with Texas Local Partners, and we do commercial real estate.
Hello, my name is Angie Collins. I'm a realtor here in the area, so if you are selling or buying, call me.
William Giffen with Centric Wealth. We're a creative financial planning wealth management firm focusing on tax implications.
Robert Bodwin, your former Houston Rockets mascot for 21 years, Clutch the Bear, with a new book out at mascotauthor.com.
Hi, Justine Stone, Lifeway brand partner with the X39 stem cell patches.
Good afternoon, Jessica Lovell. I'm a 27-year banker about to launch my new public speaking business. First timer, and I see that I now need a slogan.
Hi, Heather Herlong, too, Blue Star Mother, United States Army veteran. I am your strategic event planner and advisor.
Raymond Giles, submarine veteran, Regal Luxury Travel with Raymond, and with me, luxury is not an upgrade, it's my starting point.
George Reyes, Marine Corps veteran, do life insurance, take care of veterans.
I'm Melanie Wilkerson. I'm a business account manager that sells Verizon products. Can you hear me now? Good.
I'm Aaron Kent, owner of Handyman Connection. We handle any residential or commercial projects that you may have.
Alan Cunningham, the Home Inspections Company. My name says it all.
Good afternoon. I'm Cameron Schottner with Congressman Dan Crenshaw's office. So if you need help with a federal agency, just give us a call.
I'm Ryan with also Congressman Dan Crenshaw's office. We specifically help with veterans, as Dan is a former veteran. So if any of you guys over there work with veteran organizations, give us a call and we can help set up events for veterans who need help.
Philip Spampanato, founder of Lumi Solutions, solving all your technology needs.
I'm Seth King. I'm with Tracemark Impressions. It's a full-scale digital marketing agency.
My name is Austin Bejron, and I help businesses make more money through marketing systems that actually work.
Hi, my name is Devin Fontaine. I'm with That One Painter, filling in for Cody Foster, the owner. He said, "Hey, Devin, by the way, you have to go fill in for me." And I said, "Okay, where do I go?" So that's where I'm at.
My name is Joel Holder. I'm with the PTSD Foundation of America Camp Hope, and we aim to provide hope and healing for veterans and their families that are suffering from combat-related PTSD.
I'm Jessica Morris, Army veteran. I also work at the PTSD Foundation of America, Camp Hope, hoping to save lives.
CD Womack with Team Womack Realty. My wife and I are a real estate team. And why should you have one realtor when you can have two? Put Team Womack to work for you.
Hi everyone, my name is Jonah Bermillo. I am with Keller Williams The Woodlands, also a realtor, your third realtor. So if you need to buy, sell, or lease, let me know.
Hi, my name is Albert Yang. I do everything related in the vacant land space.
My name is Joel Surmeyer. For the last 24 years, I've provided mortgage solutions, including for a lot of veterans and a lot of entrepreneurs. So got a lot of good vets and entrepreneurs in the room. Thank you.
If you know, help me out. I'm Steve Shoemaker with Redemption Roofing and Gutters, home of. Amen.
I'm Ella Martinez. I'm just here for Chris. You got it.
I'm Sebastian Fahey, and I'm here for Chris. Or for my dad.
I'm Ashley Scopa. I am Chris Fahey's fiance. So, okay, thanks.
Frank Fuss, Life Coaching. I take my clients from Eeyore to Thor, from good to great, and from frustration to celebration.
Hello, I'm Crystal Bennett. My company is Freedom Line Insurance. I'm a health insurance broker, and I educate seniors and disabled veterans on Medicare.
I'm Billy Bennett, Army, Navy vet. I'm just a supportive husband.
Anybody else? Going once.
Thank you guys so much for sharing yourselves and your business with us. If you are a sponsor, please come and join me up on this stage. You guys, we are able to do this event month after month for free because of these incredible sponsors. We would not be able to be in this beautiful venue or have the beautiful videography and photography or, in my opinion, the delicious food without all of them, and we're super, super grateful. So they have an opportunity to do a 30-second commercial, so I'm gonna let y'all do that. You guys, the timer is on the screen. Please mind the timer, and also please step into the light so we can see your pretty faces, okay? I'm gonna start with you, Devin. Okay.
Okay.
All right, step into the light.
Hey, I'm Bill Shannon with Clean Water Climb. It's real simple. We want to plaster your logo on everything that we send out. And with that logo being out there, it shows people that you care about the women and children of Malawi, where we raise money to repair wells. And it really changes the lives of these people, especially the women. They don't have to carry all that water all day long. They can do other things. So come help us. We've helped over 10 million people in the last 14 years. So go to Clean Water Climb and hit partners.
Hello again, I am Devin Fontaine. I'm with That One Painter. We specialize in home painting, commercial painting. We do cabinets, interior and exterior. We also do a little bit of staining. And our job is to be the best house guests. So we want to make sure when we leave someone's house, they're 100% satisfied to get a 5-star review.
Hi everyone, I'm Dawn Candy. My company is I Promote You, and I take care of your promotional products and your corporate apparel. So I make you look good to your customers. I outfit your employees with their embroidered shirts, screen printed t-shirts, or hats. But I'm also the executive director for Hands of Justice. We're an anti-trafficking organization right here in Montgomery County. We serve not only the greater Houston area, but also across the country. If you want to get involved and help survivors who have exited the life of trafficking to live a successful life, please come and talk to me. Dawn Candy.
She wanted me to tap dance, and I forgot my taps at home.
Randy Lovelace, Paragon Independent Insurance. We are an independent agency offering the home and auto insurance. Insurance right now is a crazy thing, and you've probably all noticed it. So if you have questions about it, give me a call. I'm glad to walk you through, help you out, answer some questions. I'm Randy Lovelace, Paragon Independent Insurance, giving you peace of mind because we are covering your assets.
Walk you through or dance you through. I think that's what he did. Hey guys, Julie Peters with Arbonne, and if you're not familiar with Arbonne, we are a clean version of products used every single day, from nutrition, baby care, skin care, and makeup. We also just came out with a brand new line called HerCore. Arbonne's for men and women, but this line is specifically for women. It really helps with all stages of life. We came out with an incredible prenatal, also a cycle support for women in that phase of life, and also menopause support. So a lot of people could really use that. If it's not you, you probably have a mom, a wife, a sister that could use it. So please see me. I'd be more than happy to help. Julie Peters, keeping you healthy from the inside out.
Hey guys, Rankin Peters with Rankin Peters Music. Live music puts the sparkle, the extra edge on your event, whatever that event is, right, Lizzie? And anyway, I could put together whatever you might need for whatever, whether it's little party, big party, doesn't really matter. And just because I'm an aside, if you guys are not busy tonight, looking for something interesting and new to do, there's a cool new place that's open in downtown Conroe called Guadalajara's. Peters Brothers are playing there tonight, 7 to 10. It's a fun spot, so come on out and join us. Rankin Peters Music.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Melanie Davis with Better Bookkeepers. We're your local bookkeeping firm. So if you think of QuickBooks Online, Xero, that's us. We do the day-to-day accounting for our clients. So as you know, business owners, you wear a lot of hats. We're there to take one of those hats off and do your accounting for you. So if you could use that support, please give us a call. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Amy Rogers and I'm the owner of iTrip North Houston. I am a full-service short-term property manager. So I take people's second homes and investment homes and put them on platforms like Airbnb and Vrbo, and then I rent them out on a nightly basis in order to maximize the revenue for the homeowners and also give them the ability to use the home as a true vacation home if that's something they want to do. So again, Amy Rogers with iTrip North Houston, and I'm turning properties into profit.
Hey, Inspired Leaders, great to see everybody. Happy Disability Awareness Month. My name is Lance Kelly. I'm here representing the Business Solutions Group. We're your one-stop for all of your individual and small group healthcare insurance needs, medical, dental, accident, disability, whatever the business needs to protect its greatest asset, its people, we're gonna have a solution for you. I want to talk to anyone for whom your benefits are not being a business partner. If they're not helping you reach those bottom line goals, love to have that conversation. Lance with the Business Solutions Group. If you don't make time for your wellness, you'll be forced to make time for your sickness. Plan accordingly. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Afternoon. My name's Nick Plunk with Plunk Productions. I'm a videographer, producer, and editor. I get to do all the fun video stuff. Basically, I show up, we have a good time, post it on social media, put it on TV, and everyone becomes jealous and want what you have. That is my business. I would love to help you make content for your website, for TV, social media, YouTube, whatever it might be. I won't market it. I won't post it for you, but I'll help you make it awesome. Nick Plunk, Plunk Productions.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? My name is Darnold Kimball Jr. It's like Arnold with the D in front, so you won't forget, right? And so I do videography, photography. So if you have any special events coming up, birthdays, if you have kids that are graduating, let me know. I'll be happy to have you. You have the story, I got the lens. Darnold Jr. Production is where your story begins.
Let's give our sponsors a huge round of applause. I really encourage you to please get to know them. Please reach out to them if you need any of their services, or even if you just need some advice or a shoulder to cry on or somebody to talk to or help guide you through things. They are the most wonderful people I know, and I really, truly am so grateful that they support Inspired Leaders. So thank you all very much for your continued support. So I'm really excited today to have Chris Fahey come and speak to us. I have known Chris for a few years now, and it has just been an honor to work beside him in some of the projects that we've been on and just get to know him. And I am thrilled and humbled that he is here to share his story with you. So please help me welcome Chris Fahey.
That was incredible, right? Look at that. All those nice words. My name is Chris Fahey, and I am here to have a conversation with you about failure. And that's what the grievers want. There is a lot of success in this world, but that success doesn't come by way of giving, not necessarily. It comes by way of a lot of failure. And for me, my success isn't financial. My success really is what I've learned is the longest distance between 2 points, and that's between a traumatized child and a secure man. I think that when you think of confidence, especially as a man, it's grounded in capability. And I went a long time in my life without ever feeling capable of doing anything. Not capable of living this world, not capable of living under its instruction, not capable of following directions, not capable of feeling love. And that would come to define me. So as we kind of begin this discussion, I really want you to think a lot about identity and what it's like to not have any. My understanding of PTSD didn't come by way of the military. It didn't come by way of my time spent homeless. It didn't come by way of working for Camp Hope and understanding combat situations. It came by way of my dad. His name was Dwayne Myers, Timothy Dwayne Myers. He was an 0311 Marine. Saw some things go boom, heard some things go bang, and in 1983, when I was 3 years old, which wasn't the time to really ask for help. A lot of people weren't doing it back then when they were experiencing combat trauma or any type of trauma. He locked himself in the back of our home, tied himself up to the neck in his Marine Corps issued sleeping bag, took a shotgun in there and blew a hole through his chest the size of a bowling ball. The action was enough, but it was the thought and the preparation put into the action that had always haunted me, because it was very theatrical. It wasn't an easy thing to do, to plan that out meticulously, to pick the right sleeping bag, to pick the weapon of choice, to understand what the plan is that drives the ideation so you can become capable to do one thing, to die. At this point, he had 3 children and my mother. My mother was raped out of the Army, more military sexual trauma than anybody I'd really ever known to this day. And she wasn't doing well either. So when she found him deliberately placed in the back of a home where he was guaranteed to bleed out for 3 days before anybody knew he was even back there, it was nothing short of an artistic mess. And it left us all of why. He left a note blaming my mom for everything, which is a land speed record in passive-aggressive actions, if you ask me, and saying that now maybe you'll become the mother I've always wanted you to be. Simultaneously leaving her handicapped to do that same task that now she's guilt and shamed her into doing, right? It's the most unfair experience you could ever put on a person. She handled it appropriately. She turned to drugs, and I don't fault her for that. What happened after that was a little bit more severe. My brothers and I was about 3 or 4, my oldest brother 5, my younger brother maybe 1. We lived in this little trap apartment in Bremerton, Washington State, and she'd leave for 5 or 6 days at a time, and we would not know how to take care of ourselves. We were babies. So we'd try everything. We'd try to peel apples with hand blenders because what else is it for? It looked weird. I didn't know what to do with it. We never bathed. We shit on the floors. We threw it on the walls because we didn't know what we were doing. We tried to feed my 1-year-old things out of the fridge, and we didn't know what to do about the mites that you usually see in dogs' ears that were climbing and collecting inside of his eyes. Every once in a while, my mom would grace us with her presence. She'd pop in, put her head in the door, make sure we were alive, and we wouldn't see her again for 5 days. I got to know some strange feelings and smells. I got to know what a hardwood floor feels like on a naked body with bikers surrounding you, drinking and partying. I got to know what cocaine was by the time I was 4. I got to learn what crack cocaine was by the time I was 5. And when I kind of looked around, to this day, it's fragmented memories mixed with dreams that I think are real, that's combined and collected with stories from family members, and this is where I get these memories from, right? It's a collection of what I think happened. But I do remember in all that chaos, my grandfather, who was my father's dad, he was a minister, he was a Baptist preacher from the Bible Belt of Indiana. And I remember when he came in to rescue me and my older brother, Nathan. He was the cleanest person I had ever seen. He had a gold watch. It was fake. I didn't know that. But it was so shiny. And his belt was perfect, and his shirt was tucked in perfectly. And he walked in, and he had loafers on, instead of boots or barefoot. And he looked at me and he goes, "Hey, bud." He goes, "You must be Chris." And I didn't know what to think. You know, I'm a feral child, by the way. And I had no life skills. I was never taught anything. I can barely speak. I interpreted my environment as a danger. I interpreted love as dangerous. I interpreted connection as a threat. And anybody at that point, especially so young, who had tried to show me affection, I knew it was a trap. I would leave those little white frosted donuts that were my mom's favorite when she would come in and pass out on the couch. I would leave a trail to my room hoping that she would follow the donuts and come to me instead of coming out the front door. So when my grandfather came in, I had those donuts ready. And I thought that's what you do. I thought love was transactional. I thought if you needed somebody to love you, you had to give them something or convince them that you were worth their attention. And he was married to Jo Ruth, my grandmother. They were married for well over 50 years. She was the longtime wife of a preacher. And he served in World War II. He was of that generation. He understood quality Christian values, and he understood American principles in the most classic traditional way. He took me and my brother Nathan, and he saved us, brought us home, Acton, Indiana, and I had my first Christmas when I was 5 or 6 years old. And he said some bearded guy named Santa was going to come through the chimney, and I was like, not on my fucking watch. And I don't know where you get your shit from, but I'm going to kill that dude. And so I waited up because I didn't understand the concept of what they were talking about. The only Christmas gift I got was my Uncle Chucky, who taught me to tie my shoes by showing me what the ring on his beer looked like and then pouring beer on my shoe and telling me that if I want to clean that up, I got to tie my shoes. And that was on Christmas. So I waited up all night looking out the window because I was not going to get caught off guard by this fat bearded man. And when I knew at that point, because I did wait up all night, the trauma was real, the anxiety was real. And when I went downstairs, there was heaps of presents. I mean, heaps. I knew it didn't come from this imaginary guy named Santa. And I realized that my grandparents had bought all those things from me. And it was the first time anybody ever did that. And I was just like confused, but I felt this lightness come over me. And that was the first time as a child I ever felt safe. I ever felt like I could trust the environment I was in because the people there had good intentions. My grandparents did an exceptional job raising us. They taught us good quality principles, stability. They were consistent, and they believed in God, and that's where I first started to develop my relationship with God. But when I was 13, a man came to my door with my mom. My mom had put herself through rehab at this point. She did some good work, but the man she married was amazing. His name was Dave Fahey. He would adopt me. He gave me my name. He gave me my identity. He's the one I represent now. My children carry his name. And he taught me 3 things that I never thought I'd learn. The first was unconditional love. The second was that respect is a man's way of showing love, so you need to do that. And the third, and this came by way of loss, was that resiliency isn't a product of positive thinking or manifesting good energy or intentional actions. It's from acceptance and forgiveness. When he came around and I decided to go live with him because I wanted a dad, he said, listen, I want to adopt you, and I want you to know that when I say that, I mean it. Like, you will be my son, and it will be forever. And I said, that's cool. You don't know my mom. Like, I know my mom. And I think you got a pretty good version of her, but I know my mother, and I know this isn't going to last. And I don't know what I'm going to do with that, right? I was stable with my grandparents. I was happy there. There was no reason for me to live, but I wanted to leave, but I wanted a father. And in my 13-year-old voice, I said that as clearly as I could, right? And he made me a promise. He said, no matter what, it's going to be me and you. We're going to do this together, and it's going to be great. And I was like, all right. So right around the time of my 15th birthday, my mom started momming, and there was a lot of chaos and abuse in the house, a lot of physical abuse, a lot of mental abuse. She had checked out. She was doing things at night that I'm not exactly sure what, but there was a lot of cycling down into old behaviors, and my stepfather decided to leave her and get a divorce. And I remember it was my 15th birthday, and I came home, and I saw his truck all packed up, and I was like, I knew this motherfucker was going to do this. And And I go to the truck, and I'm like, great, see you later. And he's like, your shit's in here too, man. And I go, what? Are you serious? We're both leaving? It was chaotic. I hated it there. And the fact that he stuck by his word was just mind-blowing. And I have never been so happy to be kicked out of a home, right? But I didn't feel like that's what was happening. I felt like a person who loved me was making the proper sacrifices to take me and hold me and care for me and to show me that when you give a person your word, you're going to do it. No matter what, right? Details can be worked out, but credibility, man, that's some tough shit, right? Especially as a parent to a child who doesn't understand what parenting looks like. So he and I went to go live with my diving coach, who I learned he was having an affair with. I'm not judging. I don't think it's right. That was a woman, by the way, my diving coach. He was in the Navy, so I thought I need to clear that up. He was a SEER instructor in the Navy. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but he taught people how to survive POW camps. So if you get shot down, or if you're a Navy SEAL or Special Forces type, and you need to learn how to survive, evade, resist, and escape, he was the guy that taught you how to do that, which is a long way of saying he was a bad man, man. He was a bad man. And he knew how to do a lot. So every time I'd come home, he had a different task for me, right? Paint this. He taught me how to throw knives. Who teaches a kid how to do that? I don't know. I felt so prepared, you know? like I don't know when, but I'm going to do it, you know? Just waiting for that button that I can stop getting pressed. I don't know. Gosh, man, I just love this man. I made the U.S. dive team. I was thriving. I was getting scholarship offers and getting scouted by some really great universities, even in my junior year. And I could see my future for the first time. I could see my future. And instead of being prepared for the other foot to drop, or shoe to drop, for the loss, the rip, the carpet to be pulled out from under me, I was preparing for like living, right? And so I was working at this place called Uncle Tom's Market. A little Frenchman. He was always so weird. But he taught me a lot about beer, which he shouldn't have. And I was 16. Like, that's not appropriate. And this guy came in. He goes, man, we lost another one today. And I need to backfill this a little bit. I didn't understand the level of my father's commitment. I knew he got out of the Navy, but I didn't know why. And he went to go urchin diving to create an income while he put himself through college. He was wanting to be a park ranger of sorts. I guess you need a degree for that. I didn't know that. And urchin diving in Maine is dangerous. You're dry suit diving in the wintertime to get them. And I remember this man came in. He said, we lost another one. And Tom was like, oh, no, who? And he goes, Dave, some guy named Dave Fahey. And I stood there, and I was frozen. And I go, what did you say? And he goes, yeah, a guy named Dave Fahey drowned today. And if I could tell you, my entire world just stopped and then fell through the bottom of my feet. At first, I was in denial. So I researched, I investigated, I went down to the harbor, I saw him pull him out of the ocean, and I still didn't believe it. Then I went to the hospital, the nurse brought me into the room where he was still intubated. She was squeezing my hand so hard I thought it was gonna break, and she says, is that your father? And I saw his gray, blue corpse with the tubes hanging out, and I still couldn't believe it. So I went up there and I touched his hand, and I still couldn't believe it. And finally I looked at her still in this disbelief, and I said, yeah, I think so, but this doesn't make sense because he fucking promised me that this shit wouldn't fucking happen. And I called my mom, and I said, listen, I got some bad news. I'm, 15, 16, something like that. And I go, I don't know how to say this exactly, but Dad drowned today. And I don't know how to tell the kids or what I need to do, but I'm here. So I don't know what to do because I'm fucking 16. I don't have I'm alone. And I waited. There was this long silence, which I expected. I thought there was going to be this emotional release, this crying. And she responds with, I get the Pathfinder. And I said, what? And she goes, he had a Nissan Pathfinder that they always fought over. And she goes, I get the Pathfinder. I want that. And it became very clear to me that my mother was somebody I'll never be able to depend on. I'm 16 years old. I'm living in Maine. My only father that I knew just drowned. I have no family in the area. She's my mother. I had no idea what to do. And she gets the Pathfinder. I said, got it. I'll work that out. I hung up the phone, And I just started to try to accept that my life as I knew it is over. And I wasn't prepared for that. I fell into the deepest depression I had ever experienced. I ran away. I did not want to go back to my mother, so I ran away. I jumped around from place to place. I ended up landing back with my grandparents, and bless their hearts, they were so old at this point. They didn't have a prayer with me. I used every drug you could imagine. They called me Gypsy Chris. I traded. I went to festivals. I traveled around with runaways from camp to camp. I threw raves in the 90s, south side of Chicago, northern side of Indiana, anywhere I could. And I wasn't doing it to feel good or get high or anything like that. I just didn't know how to feel anymore. I didn't trust that feeling was something I should do. And I was so disconnected and disassociated from life that I couldn't have done it even if I wanted to. Can you relate to that? Just feeling so hurt all the time that you've decided that the only way to turn off the hurt is to turn it all off, right? And substances are great for that. Because if I wanted to feel connection, I didn't have to process emotions. I could just take an opiate, and that's going to release enough oxytocin for me to at least look like I love you, right? That carried me through a lot of relationships. If I wanted to feel motivated or get motivated, there's a substance for that, some type of amphetamine. There's a million of them, really. And that's going to help drive you through a day and keep a smile on your face. If I want to go to sleep, ketamine was amazing for that. There's literally a utility belt to feel or not feel. And that's what those things started to be for me. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't something I cared for, but it's what I learned to survive when I was 17, 18 years old, right? So I'm 19. I'm a high school dropout now. I'm in Indiana. I'm working sales. I'm making amazing money because sales came easy for people who could disassociate, really. And I took a look around my life, and this is the first time I had a real moment of grounding. And I realized that I have not accomplished anything, that I'm uneducated, and that although I could financially make some good money here, I would never feel whole. So I went down to the Navy recruiting office because the only person I knew who had shown quality habits, right, was my stepdad who joined the Navy. This was just before 9/11. The recruiter actually knew my father. The military can be a very small place. You find out once you're in. He had heard of it because he was a SEER instructor, small community. And he said, listen, I got quotas and all this other stuff. You know, I need to push you in one direction. You scored an 87 on the ASVAB. Honestly, it could place you anywhere. We don't need a lot of the higher jobs. We need lower jobs. But he put me in a back room with all the job descriptions, and he said, pick whatever job you want. I'm going to make sure we get you in there. I went back and got my GED. I was the last GED candidate to go through the Navy at the time. This was in 2001. I got put in the delayed entry program. And I went through all of those, and I saw one that just stood out, Navy journalist. And I was like, I can't be a journalist. Like, that sounds reputable. That sounds like you got to love yourself, or at least like yourself, to do something like that. And the recruiter goes, you could be a journalist. And I go, how? He goes, because I'm going to make sure you don't fail. And I was like, shut up. I thought he was hitting on me. And it's like, I mean, you're cute, but I'm not that way. and he, look, man, if you're in the military, you already know we don't let each other fail. We don't do it. And that's when I first learned that. And he walked me through the program. He helped me through everything. And before I knew it, it was Valentine's Day, just after 9/11. So it was Valentine's Day 2002, and I'm on my way to boot camp, and I'm fixing to be a Navy journalist. I lived that life. But what I never did was deal with the things that I experienced. Spent 18 and a half years in the Navy, deployed 5 times, spent 10 years of my life overseas, and I spent a year in combat in Afghanistan, and I still didn't love myself. Because what the military is also very good at is helping you validate yourself. And I'm great with self-validation because you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Just tell me something nice. Tell me you like me, right? Military is great, right? I do something good, you put something on my chest, I walk out with a PQS, you tell me I'm great, I get a promotion. Everything has a checklist, right? And if you understand the difference between self-esteem and self-worth, you'll understand that self-esteem is driven by validation, but validation is external. It comes into you. Self-worth is internal. So where does self-worth come from? You have to make decisions and choices in line with your values and principles. And my friends, I didn't have any. Everybody else was telling me what I should do, and I had never sat down and thought about what I truly believed in. I didn't have a relationship with God at the time, and it was starting to really come out. So by about the time I got done with Afghanistan, and I got to tell you, man, Afghanistan will train you, the military will train you for kinetic stuff, especially if it's combat driven, but they're not going to train you for the things that touch on moral injury. Do you know what moral injury is? It's when you're told to do something that violates your values and you have to because of your job, basically, right? So they can tell you to go to Afghanistan and train for combat, got it. But what happens when you see a mutilated woman or a child being raped and you can't do anything about it because that's normal there? What do you do then? What if you come across an intel report that talks about a 14-year-old girl that's been raped 400 times and you know where that village is, you drive by it every day? In fact, you might have had one or two key leader engagements with the guy that runs that, so you know he's got that girl handcuffed down there, but you can't do anything. That's the stuff they didn't train you about. So when I came home from Afghanistan, fear is a hell of a teacher, and it manifests in mental illness pretty strongly. First, it teaches you that love is a transaction. Then it teaches you to not be safe of your environment. And then it sets up hundreds of thousands of data points in your brain to remind you of when you're walking into that moment so you can be more prepared, when we call that a trigger, right? So after 18 and a half years of never dealing with anything, all this fear has started to manifest into a few different things. The first thing is going to be a severe anxiety disorder because everywhere I go, I'm nervous, I'm scared, I'm afraid. Second thing is going to be bipolar or borderline personality disorder because I don't understand moods and I can't read social cues because I'm too afraid to invest in them, right? And all of that, for me, manifested into a very severe case of PTSD, post-traumatic stress. And it plagued everything of me. I was a journalist, and I was a good one. I was the Navy's top journalist, in fact. In 2013, I was awarded an award as the Navy's top journalist, the Navy's top mass communication specialist, first place photojournalist. I had done everything I had sought out to do. I had won every award that truly mattered to me. I had proven that I was the best in at least my career field across two services, the Navy and Marine Corps. So why was it when I went home and looked at myself in the mirror, all I saw was trash? All I saw was failure. All I saw was a person who didn't know how to have a relationship without needing to validate who I was. And if you were dating me at the time, that's exactly why you were dating me. Because if you had your shit together and you chose me, clearly I must be worth something. And those relationships would define me. And anything else in this world would define me. So I needed help. I asked for help in the Navy. They gave it to me in a couple different forms, which eventually, after 18 and a half years, led to an involuntary separation under honorable conditions without my retirement, with 2 rehab facilities and 6 psychiatric facilities under my belt. And in 2020, that's where I landed, out of the military, with nothing. No savings, no retirement, a 90% service connection for mental health issues, and a background that screamed danger. I went looking for a solution. I went to, 4 more residential treatment centers, visited a few more places, another psychiatric hospital, looked for help with therapy. And the problem wasn't those places. Really, the problem was me. I was unwilling. I was a victim. All of this was your fault. Everything that happened to me was my dad's fault, because if he didn't love me enough to stick around, then how could I possibly matter? He killed himself, and look how he did it. My stepfather, he drowned. How dare he, right? That became about me. I made everything about me. And the truth was, my father's decision had nothing to do with me. And if I really want to be honest with myself, I didn't even matter to him. And that's a truth that I needed to wrap my head around. And it was hard because I needed to have value. So 2020, I looked around. My son was born at the time. His twin sister, Zoe, was born at the time. And I felt no connection. Do you know what that's like, to wake up and look at the kids that you know you love but can't feel love for them? And that wasn't just them. It was everything in my life. So I just left. I walked out of my house, and I didn't return for a year. I was voluntarily homeless on the east side of Conroe and the south side of 3rd Ward, doing about as many things as a person can do, trying to slowly die. And it wasn't until I found a place called Camp Hope that started to turn around. And Camp Hope welcomed me into the gate with one thing: a hug. And they told me that they loved me. And they told me that I would just stop for a minute and be present in that moment, that I could stop fighting, get out of the way, and surrender. And they taught me what surrendering was. Surrendering is just asking for help. So I began to ask for help, and I got it. Right? 9 months into that program, I learned how to love myself again. When I came out of that program, I went right to Sam Houston State University, where I started my degree in psychology. I'm graduating this month. And next month, I'm going to start an Earn Your Way In program. Thanks. And next month, I'm going to start an Earn Your Way In program at Harvard University for industrial and organizational psychology. I'm a high school dropout. To me, that is a sign of success, but it's also a success that's found in being resilient to ask for help. Right? That is a mountain and a lifetime of failure to get there. The real success, though, and if you understand PTSD, it destroys your relationships. You can't treat PTSD, right? There's no pill, there's nothing. But you can be taught to love yourself. That's the first relationship. And then from there, start rebuilding the relationships around you. For me, that meant myself, God, and the people in my life. And by creating that space, I was able to find the person I love the most in this world, Ashley Scopa. She's 100% the woman that I've always been waiting for, the woman I've been building something up for, because she doesn't validate me. She helps me be a part of something that we get to build together, right? Through the course of this process, I started to figure out that I could help others understand this, right? And that's why I now work at Stone River Recovery Center. It's a trauma treatment center. It's one of the best in the state. We focus on trauma, and I get to hand walk anybody with trauma, as long as you're an adult, through that process so they too can find a place of hope, grace, forgiveness, and acceptance. And really, that's what we're talking about. PTSD, mental health, all this stuff is just a massive disconnection with love. And all we have to do to heal is to start loving again and start accepting love again. And that can be the hardest thing we do when we're broken. And that's what I get to help people with today. So if that's something, I took the scenic route in getting there, but if that's something that you guys need or want, something you'd like to talk about, I'd love to have a conversation there. If some of this resonated with you and you get an idea of what that means, I'd love to talk about that with you. But ultimately, the best thing I think any of us can do in this room is just take a minute to express some gratitude for the people next to you, and appreciation for yourself, because we're all in this together. And to kind of rehash what my dad said to me, is that we never have to be alone again. And that if we make a promise, let's just keep showing up. Thank you guys so much for letting me share.
Thank you. Thank you for doing the work to be who you are and to love your family and your community and all of the people that you serve. Your passion has been a fire inside of you ever since I've known you, and it is an honor to hear everything that got you to where you are and see what you're doing and how you are making that something so beautiful today. So thank you for that. It's a challenge to stand up here and share these things with you, but it's so powerful and it's so encouraging, and I hope that you all give Chris a huge hug today, and I hope that you all got something beautiful out of that amazing story. So I'm just really grateful to Chris, and I'm grateful for all of you being here. Please come back and join us next month. We have Kevin Goodnight speaking, and we are so excited. He's over here with his wife. Give us a big wave. So everybody, come see Kevin next month. You can scan that QR code. It'll take you straight to the Facebook page, the event for next month, and you can just click going and then share it with friends and family and invite people to come with you. We would love to have you back right here, 11:30 to 1. Second Friday of every month is Inspired Leaders Day, so mark your calendars and come be here and hear Kevin's speech, and we're just really excited to have that. So RSVP, and we will see you guys next month. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Thank you.